Welcome back to Europa Universalis 5. It's episode number 3 of our Portugal campaign. If you don't mind, please take just a quick moment, drop down below, click that like button, help by leaving a comment. It really makes a big difference with the algorithm. The first few episodes are really important, and as this is going to be the flagship game on the channel for many, many months to come, possibly years to come, getting a leg up on drawing in an audience that's interested in EU5 is going to be really important, and this first one could make a massive difference on whether there's any channel growth for the next year or so, or whether it stagnates. As we continue on, we are into the Black Death. The bubonic plague has hit. Now, the first wave, we got through with about 3k losses, and then it disappeared. But now it's hitting Castile hard. We have closed our borders, but it did cross one province to the north, rural, but it's also hit our port city, our capital, Lisboa, aka Lisbon. We just had our hospital completed, and our resistance has grown significantly. Overall resistance has grown to 29%. Specifically for the plague. It was at 13, so it's more than doubled, but that means there's still a lot of people susceptible. Right now, presence 0.5% locally. That's going to be what we're keeping in our keeping our eye on for quite a while here, as this is going to claim a lot of lives. Even with the hospital, it's going to claim a lot of lives. Well, let's get to it. Keep an eye on it. The other thing to keep an eye on is we took quite a few loans to get that hospital built, and we find ourselves on that edge where we are not making any money right now. I think we're going to have to do a little bit more with minting to at least see that be profitable. The other expenses, let's see, the interest. Interest is the one we're going to have to watch out for. Can we repay one loan? Not quite. 50 ducats to repay something. If we can squeeze one repayment in the near future, we find ourselves we'll find ourselves inching that down and going from slightly negative to slightly positive, and that could have a positive impact. Of course, we could turn right back around and end up having to pay somebody, but for now, anyway, that's that. But we have incompetent diplomacy for the next 10 years. Fan freaking tastic. For the moment, it's growing rather rapidly, 4.5% on the presence, and it's crossed over into this province as well, where a lot of people are dying here. There was 15k. See what those numbers are like here shortly. For the moment, population is kind of stagnated. Lisbon's dropping by 27, but overall we're not dropping as a nation right now. Disease resistance is up to 5%, by the way. Uh-oh. More is happening. Total deaths, 4,700. Up from the 3k it was at. We've got plague profiteers, burghers, commoners involved. What do we have for burghers? Can be super ticked off. Commoners happy, and 52% right now. Commoners are at 60%. I think somebody happy and medicaments. I'm assuming that means medicinal things on the market, which is a way to keep people alive, even if it's not. It's stopping the spread, which, oh my gosh, look what just happened. It crossed the border anyway, folks. It crossed the border. It's about to get real bad. We don't need to go that route. That's not an option. This one comes with money and losses. I think we need keeping people alive and some happiness more right now than we need. So we'll take that option. And suddenly we have an unhappy group. Burgers at 30%. Yikes. Okay, yeah, it's spreading. It is very much spreading right now, and attrition in the army here. We just jumped from 4,000 to 10,000. Hey, we're making some money at the moment, though. Worldwide, 19 million have already died. Egypt have lost the most at 2 million. Golden Horde just topping 1 million. They, of course, were the source. Castile, that's one of our problems. They're right there near the top of the list. 4th in the world in most dead. And here is a rapid drop in population now kicking in for us. 22,000 dead. Did not keep it out. Resistance is growing, though, in Lisbon, up to 38%. And now we're learning from the plague. Push for standardization. We lose gold, but presence is lowered by 10% in one province. That does not seem like a good path. So each doctor should get to choose. We lose 10 prestige, which we only have 5, so that won't hurt. We'd get 2 points towards traditionalist. That's not going to make much of a difference, but this is one province losing 10%. I don't think that's going to really help me right now, and that is a cost. There it is, Myrtola. It's only at 9%, so dropping it down without the resistance even being there is not going to make much of a difference. So as much as it pains me to not make a move towards ending things, I don't think it's going to do anything for us. So lose the prestige, now at 0. Locations depopulating, obviously. Holy cow. 40,000 just became 70,000. Checking back in, Lisbon now at 48% on the resistance, though, so they are fighting back. But what about elsewhere? 26%. 73% presence. Oh, man. But a lot of people are... We're going to have a lot less people here real quick. Okay, we made some gold, but now we're going to start losing it. People missing from jobs. Construction speed finished. Oh, there goes the king. There goes the king. Afonso. I'm assuming that he died of the same thing that everybody else died of. Magnificent tomb. Lose 62 ducats, but gain 20 prestige and gain 20 legitimacy. Or lose 10 prestige and legitimacy. The prestige and legitimacy are, in this case, going to be worth it, though we are going to be forced into another loan. So, moving on. A new court. Queen Maria, the Borgogne, is now in power. She's planning on moving to the court to a different location, as is the custom within Portugal. No, we're not going to change. We're going to keep it in Lisboa. We lose 5 legitimacy, but prosperity in Lisboa goes up. It's not going to stick around, though. It's going to disappear very quickly as the plague is still present. Will she... Do we move into Porto? She might not last a week. She might not last a month. Why don't we go ahead and move it and assume that something's going to happen? We'll do Porto. We've formed a marriage union with Portugal and Castile. We will now protect each other when attacked. And there's the new loan. She does not have the greatest of abilities, but we have a union. It's interesting. Died from the plague. Down to 1.1 million. We've lost nearly 200,000. Lisbon, the resistance is pretty decent. It's down to just 11% presence. But Porto, 54% still. It's pretty bad there. But we are definitely growing some resistance. And a lot's happened. Chancellor. Oh, okay. Our naval captain has perished. Looking at the Black Death, we're looking at 33 million. Rapidly up from the 19 million it just was. Burger insurgents on the rise, but it's a very low percentage. RGOs, missing employees, and there you go. That is your basic That's what I expected the RGOs to be. We had a conversation about that during the last episode where I wasn't sure what it was. This is how many people we need to fill jobs, basic jobs now that are not being met. The burger's recovering, but it's going to take a while. And there's other buildings as well, or the same buildings largely. And we have a new heir who is underage. Heir can have better education. We should probably do something about that. Crown Prince Pedro, born the Borgonia. Same, just slightly different spelling now. He is 14. He's only 2 years away, but we can give him a better education. How do we do that? Balanced education. Ability increased during education, 0.5. Okay. Can't. 250 to give him an expensive education. So we can give him something like administrative, diplomatic, or military versus the balance that he's on. I see. Okay. We'll keep it balanced. He's not great at anything, and it's much too late in the process. So how are we looking now? Queen Maria. Yeah, not very skilled. Not very skilled at all. 4 children. We have an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 1-year-old that fall in line behind our 14-year-old. We now have 91 legitimacy, but it's dropping rather quickly. Our investment rate is the main thing that's holding us back on that. It's high legitimacy. It's hard to keep it that high. Meanwhile, the prestige is also dropping through natural decay, but at least it's at 19. Stability is rising, but we are losing gold rather quickly right now. I do think it's time to address that a little bit further. Let's tax the nobility just a little bit there. The cost of court thing's going to have to stay about how it is. Diplomatic spending, we could definitely drop that one down. Papal warning. Is this to us? Rulers, okay, all rulers, about fueling hatred against minorities. We can make the clergy happy, gain religious influence, lose a little bit of that high legitimacy, which is okay. And there's a lot of negatives going the other way, so we agree. Okay, how's this resistance looking now? We're down to 2%. In fact, Lisbon just got cleared of the plague. Lisbon is cleared of the plague. We're starting to move beyond it. Resistance is getting high in a few places. We're down to 1 million people from 1.3 worldwide. 40 million. For us, 373,000. It's back. Fresh outbreak. And let's see if there's anything else we can do here. Move the court into hiding. We're already isolated, but it's not doing anything. Cardinals of the Curia come to a conclusion of now. Cardinals are meeting. I think they're determining where somebody's going to be. Event caught red-hooved. Really? A baby cow was caught murdering and consuming a child? That's pretty ridiculous. Lose stability, gain a tiny amount of gold, and become more innovative. Gain some stability, but make the clergy unhappy. But the clergy are super happy anyway. So let's do that. Give me some stability. It's nice to have some. Clergy are still at 70%. In fact, that's still above the threshold. One major thing we need to pay attention to is what's going on near our border, and Castile's starting to clear up, as are we. I hate that it just started over again here, though. We're moving up, too, which means we are taking less deaths than others, but that's still a third of our population. Plague of wage fixing. Massive trade hit. We can't afford that. We're going to have a few people dissatisfied in a specific location. Stop the spread at any cost, losing some religious influence, or we lose stability. Let's lose the religious influence. Nearly out of manpower. One of our loans has been taken over. We are running out of funds very quickly right now. Getting ugly. Tax commoners some more. You can see just less taxes coming in, but the costs aren't going away. Okay, stability investment. One more research item complete. 51 million worldwide. Hunt for a cause. Lose some legitimacy or tons of happiness. Let's take the legitimacy hit. Catholic Church. There we go. Into the Catholic Church. We have a proposal. Oh, we don't have a vote. 6 countries have already voted yes. 6 countries have yet to vote. So just a single more and it will pass. But we are not a voter. Okay, deaths has decreased significantly. Still happening, but not at the scale it was. In fact, suddenly it's nearly gone. There's your biggest concern. We're at 11%, down to 6. 2 provinces. Oh, we take out a new loan. We're going to run out of loan options here soon. 2 provinces, and resistance is very high within them. Down to 1. And it's gone. We have survived the bubonic plague. Not to say that it won't come back. It 100% can come back. We're down to 825,000 individuals after having 1.3 million. We just lost 500,000 individuals, 536,000 to be a little more exact. Meanwhile, 57 million worldwide. We are clearly not in the top. Delhi is the top. Castile is, I think, the big cause of why we lost so much. Castile became number 2 of all nations in terms of losses. I think we can open our doors once again. So repealing that, we could also cut this expense out, and that just used 20 stability to get rid of. But it's saving us some money. So we're down to just the hospital in Lisbon. Let's hope it does not have a quick resurgence coming through once again. We will still have high resistance in the short term, but over time that will decrease. By the way, the bubonic plague still exists to this day. It did not disappear completely. It's just resistance is incredibly high within each of our bodies. And so it's extremely rare to have new cases, but it's not gone completely. Okay, we have a neutral balance. That's the first thing. That's an important thing. We need to make it a better balance, though, if we are going to start paying off some of this interest. Taking out that 2+ ducats to fight the disease was important, but I think at this point, actually, really what we need is we need POPs to be promoted to start filling these positions again. And as the deaths stop, population will come. There we go. Coming of age, our heir is now 16. Better than his mom. Not great. We can arrange a royal marriage. Probably the first thing we need to be doing. Okay, burghers overall can gain, so we have copper complaints here. Burghers can gain 10% overall. One province can lose 10% of peasants' morale. Commoners can gain 10%, and this is all positive. I like all positive. As there's no negative event here, we'll take that one. Dominguez is the only area right now. We have Joanna, an 18-year-old female with low ratings. That's a better one. She's 16. At least she's the same age. Just quarter years in either way. It's not a great option for us, but we'll have to do what we have to do, right? No, we can't arrange the royal marriage with her. Yeah, very similar ratings, and then almost a +20. Comes with some prestige. They're gonna gain a lot more than we do. That's okay. Okay. Short term, we begin recovery. Long term, we were never stable in the first place, so but we are at least back to a profit, and at least a somewhat decent profit. Okay. Whew. Breathe. We need to establish our next. Porto is now the capital. So we'll host in Porto. We have army exercises, which obviously would be useful at some stage. Oh, I like that. Crown power plus 50%, plus 3 ability to administrative, diplomatic, and military, but we're starting at a 0. And I don't think we have the ability to really push anything much, so let's take our easy host army exercises. It's already at a 40%. Let's wait and see if we have any events that pop up, though. There's an easy answer right there. There's an easier answer, as that one won't hurt as much, but it's only 4%. 40% makes much more sense. I just hate the idea of losing the burgers to this, but let's take it. There we go. Clergy's doing okay. Burgers down a little bit, but now it's a for sure, or almost for sure pass, as we have some research done. Monthly religious influence increased. Okay, so back into the age of traditions. No meritocracy, so no research. We are completely done with our age of traditions tree outside of the meritocracy. So that brings us into Age of Renaissance, where we have not adopted any of our 3 specific advancement trees. So looking back at institutions, Porto still at 0, even though it's now the capital. Lisbon getting closer and actually improving much faster than it used to be. 0.7%, 0.7% gains. It's happening a lot faster. Banking and professional armies. As for Castile, they don't have. Navarre has one of them, doesn't it? In Aruna? Yeah, professional armies has been adopted there. So there's signs of it, but you can see that it's very much spreading from northern Italy. One of them have been adopted in England now, in London. So in the short term, that's all the research we can do. Oh, come on. Life in Porto, we can lose 19 ducats or lose 5% support. We'll lose the 5% support because we have plenty. 4 months to go. As for filling jobs, yeah, we're getting there. Making progress on it at least. We're going to start losing control. I wonder if now's a good time to maybe swap assignments. Like migration. Taking a big migration boost. Or population growth and prosperity recovery. Ooh, 10% more support. A positive event. There's your trade-off, positive, negative. The clergy are very happy. We can lose from the clergy and gain from whoever, which would be this one. Burgers gaining 15%. Recovery effort finished in Mino. Okay. Let's help somebody else recover. Okay, one more province. Looking back on the Black Death, still more deaths worldwide. It's up to 63 million, but it's not near us right now. Okay, host army exercises passed. We gained 10 army tradition, and we recovered that zone as well. A quick, easy positive. It's nice to see something like that. Migration 1. Stability investment. We could convert away from the Sunni. That would make the Zealots go away. And this long-term, like they can call a jihad against us. Let's do that for a short little bit until we get below that 5%. It's slowly. So somewhere like here is at 84%. Commerce. Unhappy. It's the only choice. I don't want to lose 32 ducats right now. Or 5 prestige for that matter. So we've got a little bit of unhappiness. We are really close to some of this debt. We paid down 1 loan, saving us 0.3 ducats monthly. For the moment, we are gaining at 3. We're going to have to start paying for stability increases, though it is increasing at a okay rate there on its own. But we've got to pay down these loans. I didn't expect to be playing tall as Portugal, but that is what it is for now. Oh, we've already dropped below the 5%. That happened fast. Though the Zealots are still unhappy. Is it because we are converting? Oh, we have a research capacity of how much research we can store up over time. But again, we don't have the institutions yet. How much progress are we making these days? It's taken a while. Feudalism, legalism are what is present there. What can I do to make this better? What are they? They've got some sort of task. I wonder, maybe we should put these guys on some sort of task. Let's see what they can do. It seems like an easy enough one. Let's give that a shot. Number of missing employees. It's still high, but it is definitely decreasing. Same with the buildings. We're slowly getting people to fill these jobs and boost our economy. We've picked up about 4% Catholic now in this province. Mostly Sunni coming away, though some Jewish individuals there. Small percent. Rowdy. Maria, one of our children, now 3 years old, has a military trait. It's my second child to pick up that trait, actually. Obviously, only these Sunni rebels are even a thing. Here we go. We could gain 66 ducats at the cost of 15. Nobility, happiness. That would hurt. 35. Or we could just make them happier. We're going to have to go with the happier approach. We can't afford to put ourselves into a rebellious state. Family secret. First time, they Bourgogne brush it off, but when it happens a second and a third time, one does begin to wonder. Why are people laughing when they think no one can hear them? After some investigation, an answer is finally obtained from a chambermaid. It appears that Crown Prince Pedro has been running about town in a most un-Christian fashion, and that the royal family is now becoming the laughingstock of Europe. So our heir has been active in town. He has 1 child so far. We can lose 20 prestige, which we only have 12, or we could lose 5 legitimacy, of which we actually have a decent amount and are slightly gaining. The prestige, what benefits am I getting from our small amount? A little tiny bit of market attraction and a tiny bit of great power score. We can afford to lose that prestige. Doesn't hurt to lose what you don't have in the first place. Sunni Zealots at 0. Looks like they have finally suppressed them. Our army, that is. But can we stop them? Repay loan. There's loan number 2 repaid. We're going to have to extend the others. But again, that's going to help us. Each loan repaid is going to help us recover funds that much more quickly. by decreasing the interest payments that we're making. 90% converted now. We don't need to get them to 100%, but we will definitely get that up to maybe 92, 93%, and then we will find a new task. The basic RGOs, that lowest level of peasant job, the list is getting a lot shorter on the ones that are still absent from those positions, but the buildings still have quite a few. That takes a lot longer. Merchant bankrupt. Sevilla. Oh, that's not. We're not even in Sevilla, or we could lose 1 ducat. Never mind the power in Sevilla. We have our own local market. By the way, back on the institutions, we're now at 40% professional armies, 37 on banking, but the gains are slow. Can begin the Renaissance. Uh-oh. New outbreak. Lisbon. Oh, it's smallpox. Looks like we fought it off like in a day. It did not take off. The hospital did its job and stopped the outbreak. It's a pretty big. We lost 19. There we go. So 19 people died in just a couple of days, but we were able to fight it off almost immediately. Bubonic plague still going. 65 million dead now. Oh, hello. End of the Black Death. Throughout the Black Death situation, the Reaper claimed the souls of 536,000 of our pops. Yeah, we already knew that one. But it is now officially over. The Black Death has come to an end. We're not stronger than ever, right? Population is still low. We are not able to progress. 12 stability. Positive event. Suddenly we have 26 stability, close to the highest we've had. Remember, it goes negative 100 to positive 100, so we never let it get below 0, but it's certainly not doing great. Make sure that they are patrolling the seas. We have a simple task here, too. It's at least stopping the spread of rebels. It's stayed at the 5%. Maybe that's all in the north. Either way, there's our 92.5%. I think we can move this cabinet member on to a new task. Migration. Or cultural assimilation, could be. I like the migration one. I think we go back to Lisboa for that. Adding plus 113. Oh, that's helpful. Oh, but it's other, just from like peasants moving to the city. It's not external, it's internal. So let's not spend much time doing that one. We can develop a province. We can increase province control. Let's do the assimilation one. We want to steer towards Portuguese and take whatever our lowest is. Again, the same one. And adopt the culture. Alliance. Well, we should have one. Oh, Bank of Perusi. No, we do not need an alliance with them. The settlers thing. Kind of Aragon. Okay, we can bring in some Aragonese once again to help repopulate our country. Well, let's see where last time we went to Algarve. Maybe we do that again. It's a fairly small population. Let's help them out. That's one we need to stay on top of. We need the population. Back up to 842,000, maybe 5k, 10k up from where we were. And at 40 ducats, we can repay another loan. Oh, that was just 26. We're down to 4. Oh no! We're going to be ending this episode here with this event. Earthquake aside for just a moment, we are at 5 loans. So we're down to 5 loans. They are at different values, or at least in term, well, both taken and for the repay. It's all international loans at this stage. But we're down to just a little over a ducat a month in terms of that repayment, which is definitely helping us recover that little bit faster. Expenses just at 15, but that's not that's not good, because everything is turned down to kind of the lowest settings we can possibly have for them, which just makes it so much more complicated, because we want to be able to pay all of that maintenance and still have a positive income. So we persist. We persist. Those cathedrals, expensive. Anyway, Lisboa earthquake of 1354. City's looking fairly good size there. During the last few days, an earthquake beyond comparison has struck Lisboa. The force with which this event struck was far greater than what we are used to experiencing, and the citizens of Lisboa have suffered greatly under the disaster. Many are buried in the rubble of buildings, with even more losing their home and shelter without reinvestment. Lisboa would certainly take decades to recover properly, and we should take proper care of the affected area. What a disaster! Lisboa and neighboring locations will lose a severe amount of prosperity, lose pops, and some buildings will be destroyed. Buildings, like buildings that we constructed, or we help the poor souls. 130 ducats. That's like 3 loans. They will still lose a severe amount of prosperity. They will lose pops, and some buildings will be destroyed. We will have an easier time rebuilding if we invest. No investment. We don't have that kind of funds. Lisboa just lost 11,000 people, and other areas also lost quite a few. So we just lost 20,000 people in that disaster. And suddenly we're over our fort limit, increasing the cost because we dropped. I'm guessing that's population-wise we dropped. This is the fort we're going to get rid of. It's not much of a cost, but yeah, we need it to go. Okay. Earthquake dealt with. 18,185 people lost their lives in that earthquake. If it ain't one thing, it's another. This has been a playthrough of a whole lot of negative events so far, and as for sink or swim, we've just been hanging on, barely keeping our head above water, just barely not drowning. That's it. It's Portugal. It's supposed to be a stronger nation, and it's been anything but. Now, there's multiple reasons for that. One, I have a lot to learn. I made a lot of bad investments early based on the information they gave me, which was not the best information. I wasn't taking the most profitable options. I was taking the one that addressed the pops with needs, which suddenly is not anything major problem. We're doing pretty well with that these days. The estates are fine. The estates are happy. There's not big obstacles in those regards. The biggest thing right now has been the finances and the severe loss of life. First, through the bubonic plague, the Black Death, and now the latest, a massive earthquake. Negative events will happen. So will positives. Something a little closer to balance would have gone a long ways to help us out. It isn't. We're still, like, Army maintenance. Monthly manpower is only a +1. I think part of this is because I've got them doing this assignment. I can probably stop this assignment and have them just return to home. And actually home would now be Porto. And we can cancel that assignment. I'm guessing that will help with the maintenance. Even if it doesn't, not a big deal. We don't have the manpower. Their morale is low. They're not training. There we go. Morale's better. Yeah, maintenance is still what it is, but we're not paying enough to restore that. Anyway, we just lost a lot of lives. And suddenly our economy, that was steadily recovering, is in a whole lot of trouble. 20,000 people dead. We lost some buildings while we were at it. Things are not as they were. This is a challenge. This is a massive challenge. I mean, we are short quite a bit of soldiers in Lisbon. Well, folks, I am figuring things out bit by bit, but game's been hitting me hard and continues to do so, especially with that latest event. That was so unnecessary. We were recovering quite well. We're going to be back in a crisis mode here once again. We'll see what we can do to recover. That is going to do it for this episode. This is the last one where I ask about the algorithm. Like I said, it's the first 3 episodes where it matters most. So please, if you didn't earlier, click that like button, leave a comment. Have I been unlucky, or is this just a typical Europa Universalis campaign? I've had plenty like it, but I've also had plenty where we haven't been hit anywhere near as hard. Now, the bubonic plague is going to hit every freaking nation, every playthrough in this game. It's going to be rough. It's going to make it a lot tougher. Getting through the 1300s, getting to that 1400s, it's not the same game. Not the same game. That extra 100 years is going to be a challenge, and we've certainly found it challenging. Stability, internal stability alone, is a lot harder than I expected, but I'm enjoying this so far. Hopefully you are as well. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.